The world is not fair, a stoic response to injustice. You already know, this world isn't fair. There are people who do wrong and still receive praise and applause. There are those who live with kindness and integrity, yet are the ones who end up hurt, betrayed, or treated unfairly. Perhaps you've already experienced this yourself, standing before something so unjust, so unreasonable, that you are left speechless, asking yourself in silence, why is this happening to me? Why do I try to live well and still face this? Today, let's pause for a moment. Let's step back and look at all of it through the lens of those who have walked this path before us. The Stoics, men and women who lived through injustice, yet kept their clarity, kept their dignity, and never let the world take away their peace within. Welcome to the calm within, a place where we do not run from life's discomforts, nor rush to react in anger. Today, I'd like to offer you a reflection about a kind of silent strength that no one can take from you, the strength of remaining calm, of choosing kindness, even when you are misunderstood or treated unfairly. A short story before we begin. The guard and the false accusation. He was a night guard at a large office building. He had worked there for nearly 4 years. Everyone knew him as quiet, kind, and respectful. He never raised his voice. But one day, someone reported a lost wallet. No one investigated properly. Someone merely mentioned seeing him nearby. And just like that, rumors began to spread. People started to look at him differently. Whispers filled the air. He heard every word. He knew they were wrong about him. And yes, he wanted to speak up, to defend himself, to fight back. But instead, he chose silence. He still greeted everyone as usual. He still showed up and did his work as if nothing had happened, because he understood something deeper. Time is a stronger witness than anger. A few days later, the person who lost the wallet found it, right where they had left it, in their own car. And just like that, the noise faded. No one apologized. No one even mentioned it again. But him, he had kept something far more valuable, his inner peace, a gentle reminder. Sometimes, the hardest thing is not facing injustice itself, but keeping your heart from sinking to the same level as those who mistreated you. And every time you manage to do that, you claim a silent but meaningful victory. Part 1. Injustice is inevitable. The Stoics never denied that injustice exists. They didn't sugarcoat life. They didn't fool themselves with the idea that everything will always be fair. They looked at life clearly, and they accepted a sharp and simple truth. The world does not bend to our desires. There will always be people who do wrong, and still get rewarded. There will always be good people who still get hurt. There will always be unreasonable things that happen, whether you like it or not. So the real question isn't, how can I stop injustice from happening? Because the truth is, you can't control that. The real question is, when it does happen, who do I choose to become in that moment? Part 2. Don't let injustice corrupt your soul. Marcus Aurelius, a great emperor, a man who lived by the Stoic way, reminded himself daily, no matter what others do wrong, I must still choose to do what is right. The Stoics believed this. The only thing worse than being wronged is letting it turn you into someone you no longer respect. They wrong you, but you still choose kindness. You see corruption, but you still choose to live with integrity. Not because you are naive, not because you ignore the wrongs, but because you refuse to lose yourself just to get back at something you can never truly control. This is silent strength, the strength of a person who knows who they are and will not let the world twist them into something they are not. Part 3. Act with virtue, not with emotion. You have the right to speak up. You have the right to stand your ground. You have the right to defend what is just. But before you act, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I about to act out of reason or out of anger? Because anger might give you fire, but it can just as easily burn you from within. The Stoics never taught us to remain silent when it's time to speak, but they warned us not to let our emotions lead the way. They taught us to act, not through impulse, but through virtue, with fairness, with kindness, with patience, and with self-control. Because when you act with virtue as your compass, you go further, without losing yourself along the way. Part 4. A simple image to carry with you. Picture this: a river flowing quietly. Suddenly, someone throws a stone into it. The river doesn't stop. It doesn't turn back to retaliate. It doesn't rage against the stone. It just keeps flowing, calmly, silently, but relentlessly, because that is its nature. And so it is with you. You may be hurt by others. You may face unfairness, but you don't have to let these things stop you from living true to your values and walking your path with quiet strength. Keep going. Flow like the river, steadily, without needing to shout or prove yourself. The choice you have when you are misunderstood. Being misunderstood is something we all face. Some people choose to fight back immediately, to defend themselves, to argue, to prove their point, because they fear being seen the wrong way. But you have another choice. You can choose to observe in silence, to let time and your actions speak louder than any defense. This second choice, it's harder. It hurts more. It demands patience, but it raises an important question in your heart. Why is calmness true strength? The quiet power of restraint. Many mistake anger for strength, but true strength is knowing you have every reason to react and choosing not to. True strength is having every reason to fight and choosing instead to walk on, calm and steady, because the strongest power is the one that refuses to let injustice corrupt your spirit. Right now, you might be facing injustice too. Perhaps today, you too are being misunderstood. Perhaps you are facing something unfair. And now, you have a choice. Will you let it consume you, or will you rise above it? With calm and quiet strength, ask yourself, does what I do today bring me closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, then keep walking, quietly, but firmly. Let injustice hurt, but never let it break you. Injustice may wound you, but don't let it poison your heart. Every time you choose to stay true, even when no one notices, every time you keep your peace within, even when the world feels chaotic, you are already winning. Not loudly, not for applause, but in the strongest way possible, in a way that no one can take from you. A final reflection. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. If you are walking through unfairness today, remember this. You cannot control the world, but you can always control yourself. And that is where your true power lies. So stay steady, walk with dignity, and keep choosing to live with purpose. If this reflection has brought you even a moment of clarity or calm, I invite you to like and subscribe to The Calm Within, so that every day you're reminded that peace does not depend on what happens to you, but on how you choose to live